What's up, everyone? We're about to get started here. Sorry that I couldn't go on live. I just had some issues with the internet. I wanted to make sure everything's running good. Hopefully there's no lag or buffering. But yeah, about to start up pretty soon here. So let's enjoy Zelda. And of course, I'll be giving you guys my thoughts after the presentation and be chiming in on anything cool that I see. So I'm really excited for this, and hopefully it's a great show. Microsoft and Sony had good shows yesterday. So Nintendo's definitely going to have to step it up here with Zelda, see what we got here. But I'm guessing, or I'm thinking that this game is going to be quite amazing, based on so much stuff. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
Hi, this is Reggie from Nintendo. Before we begin, we want to extend our condolences to all the victims of the two tragic events in Orlando. Our thoughts are with their families and their communities. And this includes Christina Grimmie, who was killed in the earlier incident and was scheduled to visit us here at our E3 booth this week. At Nintendo, we try to make our fans smile. But this week at E3, we'll also be shedding a few tears. Please join me in a moment of silence. If you've been a fan of Nintendo over the years, you'll know that the Nintendo experience is different at every E3. We always look for the best way to introduce our most important content. And this year is no different. And that's why we're coming to you directly from our show booth on the set of Nintendo Treehouse Live. On the other side of the wall behind me, the finishing touches are being made before we open it up to thousands of industry insiders in just a couple of hours. That space will immerse visitors in the world of a single game, the newest entry in the Legend of Zelda franchise. What's in store is an entirely new format for a Zelda game. 3 decades ago, the first Zelda game changed the way millions of people thought about video games. And this week, you'll discover a game that could change that thinking again. Here's the first look at what awaits.
Let's do this.
Open your eyes.
Voice acting? Oh, baby. So many locations.
Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
Whoa! Beautiful. Oh my gosh, the NX version is going to be so amazing! Climbing up trees, climbing. Oh, I got some Uncharted! Yo! Oh, chopping down trees! Hunting! Cooking! Rock pushing! Ice making! Oh my gosh. Ooh, spear! Different weapon! It's like Dark Souls, like a repost from like Dark Souls. The book. Oh my gosh. The NX is saved! The NX is saved! One game will save the NX! Beautiful! What's the name? Breath of the Wind? Yo! That is awesome! Breath of the Wind, Breath of Fire? Oh no, Breath of the Wild! Breath of the Wild, I'm sorry. Breath of the Wild. Wow! What a name! I got the hiccups now!
The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, introduces you to a Hyrule that is truly seamless, where simply moving from one place to another begins to create what may be the adventure of a lifetime. And not only is this new world vast, but it feels alive. It teems with adventure. Throughout Link's quest, Hyrule will be a resource, an ally, an enemy, and always a place for discovery and wonder. This is easily one of the biggest experiences ever created by Nintendo. And today, you're going to get a close-up look. The portion of the game we're highlighting at E3, a wide-ranging plateau, may seem huge. In fact, no one here this week will be able to explore all of it. But even then, that plateau is only a tiny fraction of the full game map. We'll be devoting almost this full first day of Nintendo Treehouse Live coverage to just this one environment. Then, in the future, you'll learn more about the story, the characters, and the ways in which the boundaries of all previous Zelda titles are being broken. But in the end, full understanding and full immersion will only come when you experience it for yourself. However, before we show you this biggest adventure for Wii U and NX, we're going to show you the biggest new adventure coming up for Nintendo 3DS. As you've heard, there are two new core Pokemon titles on the way on November 18th. Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon. As always, you'll pick which new starter Pokemon to partner with. But which one to choose? Exactly what kind of battling awaits you? And what does the new Alola region have in store for players? Well, we figured there was no one better equipped to answer those questions than the two key developers of the game itself, producer Junichi Matsuda and director Shigeru Omori of Game Freak. So before we devote the rest of the day to The Legend of Zelda, I'm going to turn it over to the Treehouse team along with Mr. Matsuda and Mr. Omori to show you what it's like to start as a Pokemon trainer in the first ever live gameplay demonstration of Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon.
Some Pokemon.
So let's jump in. Take it away, Sam and Terry.
Thanks, Reggie. And thanks to everyone watching for tuning in and joining us for another Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. We're really excited to get started. So, as Reggie mentioned, I'm Sam from Nintendo, and joining me up here, I've got Terry from Nintendo and my colleague David from TPCI. And we've also got our very special guests, Masuda-san and Omori-san from Game Freak, who are joining us to chat about and Pokemon Moon. Now, Pokemon fans already know that you guys have a very long history of working with the Pokemon franchise, but could you tell our viewers a little bit more about what you guys are doing specifically with Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon?
2人ともポケモンの開発に関わってすごく長いんですけれども、今回のポケモンサンとポケモンムーンでの役割について教えてもらえますか。
そうですね。今年ポケモンが20周年ということで、ここから先のポケモン、未来に向けてのポケモンということで、私はプロデュースに徹し、今回茂大森がディレクターという新しい体制で取り組みました。
So this is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, as I think many of you know, and when thinking about the future of Pokemon, I've decided that I would be the producer and pass over the director role over to Shigeru Omori here for Pokemon Sun and Moon.
今回、ポケットモンスター3ムーンの、ディレクターをしました大森と申します。今回はディレクターとして開発全体に携わりました。
So I'm Shigeru Omori from Game Freak, and I was the director on this game, overseeing the entire development of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I know you brought some art assets that we can take a look at to introduce folks to the Pokemon Moon, Pokemon Sun collection. But first, we've actually got some footage that you brought for us. So, folks watching, if you sit tight, we're actually going to get that queued up for you so you can take a look. All right, so there's a lot for us to talk about just from the footage there. The first thing I'd like to actually ask you is if you could tell us a little bit more about the background of why you went with Sun and Moon as the titles for these games.
今の映像で結構話す内容というのが出てきたんですけれども、まずはそうですね、サンとムーンのタイトルについて由来をちょっと教えてもらえますか。
はい。私たちの住んでいるこの地球っていうところには生き物がたくさんいるわけですけども、その中で、その生き物に対してとても影響がある、そのコアとなっているものっていうのがやっぱり太陽と月っていうのは非常に大切なものだと思うんですね。で今回はその、生命を、より魅力的に見せていきたいっていう思いもあって、その一番影響のあるものサンとムーンっていうのをタイトルにしました。
So there's a variety of meanings behind the titles, but one of the main things is that, for example, for here on Earth, obviously, the sun really is the source of all life on this planet, and in the same way in the Pokemon world, it's also the source of life on the planet, and the moon also affects all of our lives here as well. And with this game, we really wanted to express this kind of feeling of a region really teeming with life, so we felt that Sun and Moon would be an appropriate title for the games.
I think especially thinking about these big elemental forces, sun and the moon, we also need to talk about those legendaries that are on the packaging, because I think folks are going to really want to hear a little bit more about what they can expect from those Pokemon.
そういう太陽と月の存在の多分表しにもなってるんじゃないかなと思うんですけど、このかっこいい伝説のポケモンについて、話してもらえますか。
そうですね、サンに出てくる、ソルガレオっていうのは太陽の使者で、ムーンの方のルナーラは月の使者として伝えられているんですけども、今まで、以上に物語自体にかなり、関係してくる2匹になりますので、楽しみにしていてほしいなと思います。
So in the games, the legends say that Solgaleo and Lunala are the emissaries of the sun and the moon, respectively. And these two legendary Pokemon actually, they kind of play a unique role. They tie into the story in a unique way that we really haven't done with pairs of legendary Pokemon before. So I think fans will be really excited about it.
I think these are a really interesting spiritual element that we get in these games. I won't talk about that too much yet because I know we're saving some surprises. But on the subject of legendaries, I know you recently had an event in Taiwan where you revealed some news about another legendary Pokemon folks remember from XY and what they might expect from that Pokemon in these games. We can maybe talk about that a little bit too.
ちょっと伝説ポケモンの話で、先日ちょっと台湾で、XY に登場した伝説ポケモンについてのニュースっていうのをちょっと発表されたと思うんですけども、それちょっと話してもらえますか。
そうですね、いよいよ10% ジガルデとパーフェクトジガルデが、サンムーンに登場すると、いうお知らせが、出ましたけども、今回このジガルデも活躍するっていうのが、ポイントかなと思います。
So, Zygarde, the Pokemon that one of the legendary Pokemon that appeared in originally in Pokemon X and Y, it has recently showed off their the 10% form and complete form in the games, and these Pokemon these forms will appear in Pokemon Sun and Moon, kind of in a special way that I think people will be excited about.
They look so cool. And actually, here, since we're looking at a little bit of the Alola region in the background, so it's probably a good chance to talk maybe a little bit more detail about the Alola region and what players can maybe expect there.
あと今回冒険の舞台となるアローラ地方について、どんな地方なのかっていうのをちょっと教えてもらえますか。
そうですね。今回のアローラ地方なんですけども、他の陸地とつながっていない、地方となっています。なので、アローラ地方固有のポケモンが住んでいます。アローラ地方っていう名前なんですけども、名前の由来としては、命を育んで、命を育み生命力にあふれる大地という意味を込めてこの名前にしました。
So the Alola region, as you can see, is made up these 4 islands. It has a man-made island as well, but it's really this region that's just like teeming with life, and that's actually behind the name of the region itself. We have this meaning of kind of region like a miraculous region overflowing with this life force that can support all this different life. And
yeah, I think it's really interesting since it's not connected to any of the other regions. You've got this really interesting area of isolation, and we're seeing all these Pokemon that nobody's ever run into before, and it's almost kind of feels like the Galapagos Islands, where you've got this really interesting remote area where all these other creatures are popping up, and you've got new Pokemon and a really cool environment as well to explore.
陸地とつながってないので、他の大陸とつながってないので、いろんな変わった生命がたくさん登場するんじゃないかなというふうには思ってるんですけども、そうですね。
そうですね。期待しててください。
Yeah, I think people will be surprised. There's some cool things to see in there.
There are. I've been playing it at work, and I'm very excited to get a look at it.
会社でちょっと遊んでるんですけど、やっぱこう楽しみにできるものは多いと思います。
And actually, since we're talking about new Pokemon, is there anything more that you can tell our viewers about the 3 starters that they'll be choosing from in this game?
今回の最初のパートになった3体のポケモンなんですけれども、この3体について教えてもらえますか。
そうですね。もうどの3体ももう可愛いんですけども、今回特に動きについてすごく意識して作ってまして、バトル中だったりとか、いろんな時にこう動きが可愛くなるようなデザインとして作られています。
So of course they're all very cute, but one of the things I really focused on with these 3 in particular is making their movements really cute when they're represented in the game. Like for example, in battle and other parts in the game, you see them moving around, and they're really cute. Kind of make you want to reach out and touch them almost.
あとやっぱりこう世界中の人が見て、こう分かりやすい、デザインであったりとか、タイプのカラー、草タイプだったらグリーンが入っていたりとかっていう。その分かりやすさっていうのをやっぱり最初の3匹は大事にしています。
And another thing we always pay attention to or really focus on with the initial Pokemon that you choose for your partner is making them kind of universally relatable, so people from around the world will be able to look at these Pokemon and relate with them very easily, and also very easy to understand. Like for example, the grass type Pokemon is going to be green, obviously, so being careful with the colors.
I think what folks have seen already from the animations that we've shown in a little bit of video footage we've been able to share, they have a lot of personality. I actually picked Popplio because I'm a hardcore water starter fan. My first was a Squirtle, and I'm stuck with them. But I've been having a great time so far, and I'm looking forward to seeing what other folks pick when I get into the starters as well.
最初ゼニガメ選んだので水タイプのこの足回りを絶対いいですね。どれもすごい個性的なので悩むんじゃないかなと思います。
And it's interesting actually what you talked about with the design of the starter Pokemon. And I think they also really fit nicely in with the kind of tropical climate and environment we've got. And I know that's something that you worked in with the design of the player characters as well this time around.
今回南の国っていうような設定になってて、アニメのポケモンもすごくそれに合ってる感じだと思うんですけど、今回の主人公のデザインもやっぱそれを意識されている部分ありますか？
そうですね。やっぱり暖かい国っていうのを表現する、地方ですね、表現するためにかなり軽装にしています。
So yeah, obviously the region this time, the climate there is extremely warm, so we wanted to make sure that the characters, the designs were more lightly dressed than maybe other designs had in the past.
I think fans will notice the proportions are different, especially when we get into gameplay in a couple seconds here. They're going to see it's a little different how they're used to seeing their characters in the game.
あと今回ちょっとこの後キープレイを見せるんですけれども、ちょっとあれですね、頭身がちょっと変わったっていう話ですよね。
そうですね。よりこう没入感高めようと思って頭身上がってますね今回。
So yeah, we changed the proportions this time to be more realistic. We really wanted to kind of increase this sense of immersion, and I think you'll see that when we get into the game.
Yeah, and I don't know if I can talk about this yet, but sharp-eyed viewers probably noticed that both of those pieces of art, there was an interesting bracelet that the players were wearing. I don't know if we can, probably can't talk about that just yet.
喋れないかもあんまり話せないかもしれないですけど、すごい目の鋭い人は腕輪みたいなものってつけてるんですけど。
ありました。
There's something there?
ありました。
For later time, maybe we can talk about that. But I think we've probably kept folks in anticipation long enough. So Terry, you want to jump in and show us some gameplay?
I'm excited for this.
待たせてるので、早速
Here we go.
So I just want to mention, as we get into gameplay here, this game is still in development. So folks, everything you see here might not be exactly what you're going to see in the final release of the game, but I think we can give you a really good sense of what the game is going to look and feel like as we get started.
最初のものではなくて開発中のものですけど。
そうですね。こんな早い段階で実はライブでも行うのは初めてで、どんなポケモンが出るかっていうのもちょっと世界初公開のポケモンも登場するかもしれないんで、ちょっとドキドキしますね。これね。
So this is actually the first time for us to show a Pokemon game at this stage in development, kind of via live gameplay. So, not really sure exactly what we're going to encounter in this. We may see some all-new Pokemon that haven't been revealed before.
Oh, keep my fingers crossed. That'd be really cool. Actually, as we get started here, Masuda-san and Mori-san, can you tell us a little bit about the story and the background of what's going on right now in the game?
今ここでちょっと主人公は何をしている場面になるんでしょうか。
そうですね。主人公はですね、アローラ地方に引っ越してきたばかりという設定になっています。で、今回すでに少し進めていまして、最初のポケモンはすでに、もらっています。で、今から、リリータウンというところでお祭りが開催されるので、そこに向かうところです。
So at this point in the game, it's a little bit slightly into it, but it's the player actually had just moved to the Alola region the other day, and one day previous to where we are in the game, he received his first partner Pokemon for his adventure. And right now we're actually on the way to a neighboring town where there's a festival.
Oh.
And I think here we can see what we're talking about. Oh, you're just jumping into the long grass.
誰がどんなポケモンが出ますかね。
ああ、びっくりする。ドキドキする。
レディバーですね。アローラ地方には他の地方のポケモンも出てきます。はい。
So as you can see in the Alola region, obviously it's not just new Pokemon that are unique to the Alola region, but from other regions you see Pokemon.
今回トレーナーとポケモンっていうものもしっかり描きたいと思って、トレーナーが一緒にこうポケモンの後ろにいるっていうところを再現してますね。
And as you can probably see here in battle, you see the trainer is actually standing behind the Pokemon in the battle. So we really wanted to express this feeling of the trainer always being with his or her Pokemon.
Yeah, I'd love to talk about that in a little bit more detail here, because I feel like there's so much that you've done with the way the battle looks in this game to make it feel really intense and really immersive. I was wondering if we could talk a little bit more about that with what you did with the lighting and the dynamic camera angles here.
やっぱこう没入感を高めるっていう話もちょっと出てきたんですけども、やっぱ今回こうすごい演出とか見た目が違ってて光の表現とかもありますね。
そうですね。ちょっと時間によって影が長くなったりとかっていうのも入ってたりしますね。
So yeah, there's some cool lighting effects that we're doing here where, for example, like a shadow, you see it's in the evening right now, so it's a bit longer, but depending on the time of day, the lighting will kind of affect the mood of the battle.
I think here Terry's kind of staying still for a second to let us see how the camera is moving around, and this is something that'll just happen for you if you're staying still in the battle for a moment, and you really get a good chance to get a look at these Pokemon and the area that you're in and the environment.
こうやって一回テリー今止まってくれてるんですけれども、こうカメラの演出を見せたりとか、結構やっぱこういうかっこいいカメラの演出があって、すごいこうバトルフィールドの全体を見渡せるような感じになってますね。
今回カメラもすごいダイナミックさっていうのを非常に意識して演出を入れていますね。
So yeah, there's definitely some cool. We tried to make the camera feel really dynamic in the battles this time around.
And actually, as Terry gets started in the battle here, I was wondering if we could talk a little bit more about the different changes you've made to the battle interface. I know there's a lot here that's really interesting, which makes the game really accessible to new players. Maybe this is their first Pokemon game, but it's also, I think, really satisfying as someone who's played a lot of Pokemon games. It feels really good, the changes that you've made here.
結構ベテランにもやっぱ初心者にも結構優しい感じのインターフェースにちょっと今まで違う印象があるんですけども、どういう変更を加えたんでしょうか。
そうですね。今回とても親切なというか説明がいろいろ入れています。例えばインフォメーションボタンがあるんですけども、そちらをタッチすると今その技がどんな技かというのを一目で分かるようになっています。
So for example, yeah, we really tried to focus on making it really accessible and easy to understand. You saw in the moves there, Terry just pressed the little I button or the icon that's on the move, and you can go into a detailed explanation of what that move actually does.
I think it's been so helpful. There are just so many Pokemon that you have to keep in mind now as you're battling. It's so nice to be able to pull it up, and if maybe you don't quite remember what something does, being able to just pop it up really fast there, it's like you don't have to use that information, but if maybe your memory's not as good as it used to be and you need it, it's so nice to be able to pull that up and take a look.
まあちょっとこの技はどういう効果があるんだっけみたいなちょっと忘れてるやつ
そうですね。
できるようになって大丈夫です。
例えば今、レディバの方をタッチしてもらいますと、今どんな状態かというのが分かるようになってます。
So actually you can see you can tap on the 2D Pokemon icon that's up the touch screen and see how its parameters actually just got changed because of the effect of a move.
今まで全部覚えてなきゃいけなかったんですけど、これで一目で分かるようになってます。
So as you just said, like a lot of things that you had to keep in your head, you had to remember before, now visualize on the interface itself.
Yeah, let's see how this battle goes. Are you planning on trying to capture this?
I'm going to begin my quest to catch them all.
Okay, good luck.
全部捕まえないと。
捕まえて捕まえて。
Yeah, get it. You can do it.
So, just to bring up real quickly, for folks who maybe haven't played a Pokemon game before, battling Pokemon is really at the core of what the series is all about. You're going out into the world with your Pokemon, battling. Oh, this is the most stressful moment. Nice. Okay, so we're able to catch this Pokemon. But it's a really interesting game if you're interested in battle and strategy and in collecting all these really interesting Pokemon that you meet. And Popplio leveled up. Good job. And it was nice there too, seeing how the level up change.
ちょっとあれですね、レベルアップの演出もちょっと変わりましたね。
そうですね。
Oh, and this is actually something that we should talk about as well. Can you tell our viewers a little bit more about what they're seeing on the upper screen
これ
here?
今ちょっと図鑑に登録されたんですけども、これちょっと違う感じがありますね。
そうですね。今回図鑑の遊びとして、埋めたくなるという要素をすごくかき立てるようにしました。で、白いモンスターボールなんですけども、実はあそこが空きスペースになっていて、例えばその捕まえたポケモンの進化後か、それとももしかしたらペアとなるポケモンが出てくるかもしれないっていう風に演出しています。いろいろこうどんなポケモンがいるんだろうって考えながら育てたり捕まえたりしてほしいなと思います。
So one of the things we wanted to do with the Pokedex this time was really encourage players to, again, really want to catch them all, really fill up the Pokedex. And one way we've done that, as you can see, there's the Ladybug just got registered, but next to it is a white Pokeball icon. And what that does, that indicates there's an empty space, which means that either it has an evolution or maybe there's another Pokemon out there that kind of forms a pair with it. So that'll kind of encourage players to really want to fill up that empty space, go out and search and catch all different types of Pokemon and kind of complete their Pokedex.
Yes, especially exciting, I think, when you find one and there's lots of white Pokeballs and you're just like, oh, okay.
そうですね、一匹
We've
捕
got a
ま
lot
え
of
て
work to do.
たくさん白いモンスターボールがあるとやっぱこう捕まえたくなりますよね。
さあ次は
What we got? Oh, nice! One of the new ones.
これは新ポケモンですね。ヤングースというポケモンです。いつもお腹を空かしていて、お腹が減っていくとこう怒りっぽくなっちゃうっていうポケモンらしいですね。
So as you can see, this is the new Pokemon called Young Goose. It's always hungry, so it's always getting hungry, and then so it's looking for food. But whenever it's hungry, it also gets very aggressive.
I love its face. It's so cute.
I like the hair.
I feel kind of bad for it though. I feel like we just throw it a bag of chips or something and it'd be like, thank you.
かわいそうですね。ちょっと餌を当ててあげてもいいんじゃない
いい感じですね。
Oh, getting close there.
もう捕まるんじゃないですか。
You'll probably be able to catch this one.
We're on our way.
Oh,
Good luck.
That's 2 down.
2匹ですね。
Yeah, this is always like the most stressful seconds in any Pokemon player's life. Just the...
揺れがいつもそうですね。
Nice. And actually, this will give us a chance to maybe take a look at the Pokedex. We've got a new Pokemon to check out. So we've got some interesting changes.
That's them. That's not me, guys.
Helps you in your adventure, so it'll tell you information about Pokemon that you really Here, actually, we're still really early in the game. We don't have the Rotom Pokedex, so the touchscreen is just black on the bottom, but you'll get it later.
And here, actually, this is a great chance. If we just like take a little quick circle around, we can show off not only the trainer's proportions, but also the movement is a little bit different than what folks who played previous Pokemon games have expected.
頭身が変わっただけではなくて、今ちょっと移動のなんていうんですかね、その見た目っていうか、ちょっと
そうですね
動き方も変わりましたね。
今回フリーに自由に動けるような仕組みにしてますね。
So yeah, you can move around free, full analog movement this time in the game.
Oh, and we need to tell players what's going on here
これちょっと
when they're seeing the shadow
暗くなるっ
come
ていう
in.
のはどういう意味なん
そうですす
でかね。
ね。まあ、今あそこのキャラクターがこうモンスターボールをこう投げてるんですけど、あれはこうポケモントレーナーですね。でポケモントレーナーの視線に引っかからないように、まあ、上下でこうその緊張感をこう表しています。
So you see that lady over there, or the girl throwing a Pokeball up and down, and so she's a Pokemon trainer, and what she's obviously going to try and battle you, but what that kind of shadow that appears on the screen indicates is that that she's going to challenge you to a battle. So it kind of increases this sense of tension of you're about to go into a battle, and indicates that to the player.
So I can either avoid her or actually battle
じゃあ
her.
こうバトルするか避けるかっていうのは
I think we're going to battle her.
Yeah, like, it feels like that moment where two people are like glaring at each other.
目
Ready to
目が合ったら
fight.
もうポケモンバトルですね。
But it is really nice if you're in a position where maybe you're trying to get somewhere really quickly, or your Pokemon aren't in great shape right now, you don't want to fight. It's nice to have that second where you can avoid it before you just kind of stumble yourself into a battle.
そうですね。ポケモンの具合がまあ良くない時とか、
Cute.
先に急いでる時はもう避けられるっていう。
あ、そうですね。
Yeah, that's right.
I think so. We can see here, we're seeing the other trainer as well, and it's really nice actually just to get such a good look at the Pokemon proportions alongside their trainers.
今回トレーナー相手のトレーナーもバトルに出てるんですけども、やっぱこうサイズ感、ポケモンのサイズ感っていうのが結構伝わりますね。
そうですね。結構そういうところがやっぱりこうトレーナーがいることによって表現できているっていうのが今回の新しいところですね。
Yeah, it's definitely one of the new things. I think by having the trainers in battle, like you mentioned, it really gives you that sense of scale.
And I think from the experience I've had at the office playing this game, it's really going to surprise people when they take a look at just how big and small certain Pokemon are when they're actually standing right next to them.
まあ結構多分今まで実感湧かなかった部分も多かったと思うんですけど、まあ実際遊んでみてやっぱこうこのポケモンこの大きさあったんだみたいなって思うところも多分多いんじゃないかなって。
あと、トレーナーごとにですね、いろいろこうモーションを工夫してまして、例えばボールの投げ方だったりとか、まあ、ポケモンに指示を出す仕草とか、まあ、そういったものが細やかに設定されています。
やられちゃったポーズとか
やられちゃった。
And with the trainers being represented in full 3D this time, they all have unique motions and reactions. For example, how they throw their Pokeball or their reaction when they lose, for example.
アイテム拾いましたね。
So you just got an item there.
I think there might be some more folks we can battle up here.
もっとバトルがトレーナーバトルが待ってるんじゃないかなこの先に。
As we're walking around, I'm hoping folks who are watching are listening with the volume up so they can hear the music in this area. I found it's really great how it feels. It really fits in with the tropical environment.
視聴者の皆さんも多分、聞こえてると思うんですけど、結構音楽が素晴らしいですね。南の国にちょっと合った感じの。
I love how enthusiastic he looks.
All right, Oliver.
すごいやる気ですねこの。
ヤングースですね。
It's another young goose, looks like.
Now we can see as Terry's battling here, with how the battle interface is set up, it's really easy to just get super involved in the battle to whatever extent you want to be. You've got all this information at your fingertips. It's not that you have to look at it all, but it's so nice that if there's anything that you need to check on, you can do it so quickly, and you still feel really immersed in the battle.
これやっぱそうですね。バトルのインターフェースでこういろんな情報を今回覚えなくてもいいっていう話だったんですけども、こうまあ見たいときはタッチ一つでこうやっぱこう情報をすぐに出せるのがやっぱこう便利ですね。
ああ、そうですね。やっぱりこうバトルをしていて、まあこいつどんな状態だったっけとか、まあそういったことがすぐこう情報に出せるということは初心者でもまあこの奥深いバトルにまあとっつきやすくなるかなと入れました。
So yeah, of course, it really there's a lot of depth to the battles, but you don't have, for example, beginners, for example, maybe they don't want to, or they won't remember a lot of these different status changes and whatnot. But you can really quickly check on the state and see how things have changed.
I'll say I love Young Goose's painting animation.
Young Goose
Just so cute.
気絶の演出が今日可愛いですね。
何が出るんですかね。
I always have a soft spot for
Oh,
Pokemon with teeth.
there we go.
ツツケラですね、キツツキポケモンなんですけども、1秒にこう16連打して木を叩くと言われているポケモンですね。
So this is a pick-a-peck. It's called the wood poker, or excuse me, the woodpecker Pokemon. I can't even speak, but so the setting of this Pokemon is that it can actually peck 16 times in 1 second. So it's got a very fast beak.
16回というのは特徴だよね。
16回というのは大丈夫
We're very particular about the number 16.
It's interesting, yeah, watching its animation as it's got very bird-like movements as it's kind of twitching its head side to side, and I think that the level of detail that you guys have put into all the Pokemon animations in this game is really fantastic.
ポケモンそれぞれの動きとかすごい細やかに設定してるという話だったんですけど、キャップわかりますね。これもう鳥みたいな感じでしょう。
そうですね。
首を横に振ったりとか。
Oh no, no, Terry! Oh!
Oh no.
Oh!
まさかの。
Hopefully one of your new friends is ready to help us out. That's a good chance to mention, actually, we did find a Pokeball earlier as we were walking around, and you can find some good items to help you out along the way that can help you heal on and...
まあこの後そうですね。
High
ちゃん
risk.
と傷薬とか持ってるので、バトルが終わったらちょっと回復できるんじゃないかなと。
あー、捕まってよかった。
ドキドキしますねこれ。We must have wiped out there.
That's good, that's definitely a good end of battle.
High risk to catch them all.
まあ
Oh, that's nice, your Ladybug got a level out of that, though.
まあこれでレベルアップですね。ベイビーとか。
Almost another one.
ゲームの醍醐味ですね。
Yes, this is definitely one of the. I think one of the things that really makes Pokemon a fun game. It's kind of like the sense of tension here.
So do we have anything we can give Popplio to
I think it's time to go to
fix
the
him
festival.
up? Oh,
もうそろそろ
you're ready.
祭りに向かいましょうか。
Oh no. We'll just run for this one.
All right.
ちょっとこれは一回逃げよう。あ、ヤングース。
あ、ヤングース出ましたね。
Terry, you gonna heal up after this? Or?
Yeah. we'll get healed up.
We'll get healed up.
I think
Get
before we get
patched
to the
up.
festival, because that's
Yep.
not to give too much away, but there's more fighting in your future.
More fight. この先もバトルが待ってるので、
そうですね。
回復した方がいいんじゃないかっていう。
So actually, as we come into this area here, we're going to be meeting several different characters that our viewers maybe aren't familiar with. Would you mind just giving us a quick introduction to?
Kind of. He's actually the guy who gives you your first partner Pokemon in your adventure.
すごい強いトレーナーですね。
A very strong trainer on this island.
この子はハウっていうキャラクターですね。ニャビーを今連れてるんですけど、この後、お祭りで一緒に戦います。
So this is how, and you're about to battle him actually as part of this festival.
あと、ククイですね。ポケモン博士です。今回は、技の研究をしているという博士ですね。
And that's Professor Kukui right there in the white lab coat. He's a professor who specializes in researching Pokemon moves, so like their attacks and such.
Yeah, I think based on the fan response I've seen, he is quickly becoming the most dreamy professor. I think for the fans.
今までの博士の中でちょっとイケメンっていう評判が
あとリリエですね。ポケモンのトレーナーではないんですけども、今後も一緒に冒険するキャラクターです。
And that's Lily behind you there. She's the assistant of Professor Kukui. And she's not a Pokemon trainer, but she'll join you on your adventures throughout the story.
And sharp-eyed viewers may have noticed her
回復した。
bag is kind of interesting.
Safe.
ちょっと彼女が持っている、バッグちょっと気になりますね。カバンの方は。
なんかありましたか今？
Was there something there?
い
Yeah.
や、もうわからない。
ちょっとね、さっき動いてたけどね。
いや、
でもまだ言えない。
Gotta keep it a secret right now, unfortunately.
動いてたの見ちゃった。
You saw a move. Maybe that's a hint.
But I think it's time we go into the festival battle.
じゃあそろそろ祭りのバトルになりますか。
So I think it's going to be really interesting for fans of the series to see this battle and this space. The way that Pokemon and Pokemon battles are integrated into the culture in these islands is really interesting. And you get these amazing battle spaces where other folks are gathering around and watching you guys fight.
このやっぱこう人間の社会にもやっぱポケモンとポケモンバトルそのものがこう、なんていうんですか社会の一部になってすごい大切なものっていうのがすごく伝わりますね。やっぱこういう、しっかりしたこうバトルアリーナみたいな感じもできてて。
そうですね、今回このお祭りなんですけども、2人の旅立ちを、祝うというかそういう儀式になっています。戦った後にこの2人は島を巡る冒険が始まるというストーリーになっています。
So in this particular festival, actually, this is kind of a celebration or a way to kind of kick off both you and Hao's adventures to kind of travel across the island. So it's kind of a ritual in this society.
And folks may have noticed there was another thing we can't really talk about too much, but just to mention Tapu Koko. Worth paying attention to that name.
いろんな気になる単語
Might be important.
今後に期待してください。
Please report more information. We can't really talk too much about it.
And so how about other Pichu? Who looks adorable.
可愛いですね。
今度負けないように頑張ってください。
Don't lose this time, Jerry.
Leave it to me.
任せてください。
And here we can see
what he's done for
checking different effects.
そうですね。パラメータがどう変わったかっていうのを今確認してる。
敵の相手方も自分側も両方見えるんでとても便利ですよね。
Yeah, you can see both your status changes as well as the opponent's status changes to really see what's going on in the battle.
So looking at this tropical environment, I'm really hoping that you guys were able to pull off some business trips to some nice tropical locations maybe. I mean, it's for research, it's work. Just have to go.
今回南の国という設定なんですけど、やっぱこう研究目的でこういろんな素敵な場所に行けたんじゃないでしょうか。
そうですね。開発のスタッフでこう実際にハワイに行ってですね、いろいろなモチーフを見たり、デザインにも生かされたりしています。
So yeah, we actually took as the staff, the development staff at Game Freak, we took trips to Hawaii to really do some research, and we've definitely utilized that to kind of reflect it in the game. And
I should have convinced my boss that I need to do that to prep for this. To really get this segment, I really need to go to Hawaii.
今回のこのセグメントのためにやっぱこうハワイに行ってくればよかったですね。自然ということで。
Come on, Terry, show us what you got.
That's one down.
Nice.
一匹倒しましたね。
So we saw with the icons as the battle started. I think Hao has one more Pokemon to go.
ハオは手持ちがあと一匹ですね。
はい。
Ooh, and a new skill, nice.
新しい技を覚え
Getting
て
stronger.
There we see one of the other new starters.
これも
ヤビーなんですけども、一回実はもう見ているという設定になってまして、戦うとですね、一回見たことあるポケモンはどれが効果が抜群かっていうのが分かるようなインターフェースになっています。
So at this point in the story, you see Hao has Litten, which is another one of the first Pokemon you can choose in your adventure. But you've actually encountered you've battled against him and his Litten once in the story. And so in Pokemon Sun and Moon, once you've battled the Pokemon once, the next time you battle it, you'll get information on your move list about which moves are effective and which ones aren't.
あれですね。スーパーエフェクティブっていう効果抜群っていう。
そうですね。So just explaining that, water gun is it's super effective. Yeah, what it means.
I think I'll stick with that one.
Yeah.
初心者でも分かりやすい風にしています。
So it's just coming back to make it all very easy to understand for even beginners of the games.
Yeah, it really is so nice to have that information.
情報があるとやっぱ助かりますね。
I think especially when you're trying to catch more Pokemon, and you're like, okay, I actually maybe don't want to be super effective right now. I need to kind of whittle this Pokemon down. So being able to remember maybe you want to use your weaker attacks sometimes just to kind of get them just to that point.
捕まえたい時とかもやっぱこう効果抜群じゃない方とかをあえて選びたいことがあるので結構役に立ちますねこの情報。
Nice, good job, man.
勝ちました。
I love what a good sport Hao is about losing too. He's just kind of rolling with it. It's all good. So I don't think we can go too much further in the gameplay because we're going to start giving away story elements that we don't want to show folks yet. But you did bring another video for us to take a look at that has a new gameplay mode that I don't think folks have seen before.
この先やっぱ実機プレイを進めるとストーリーのネタバレ的なところも映ってしまうことになるので、ここまでにして、ただもう一つちょっと映像を持ってきていただいて、持ってきているという理解なんですけども、初めて今回初登場の新しい新モードという理解です。
ポケモンはやっぱりコミュニケーションツールとして今までこう対戦とか交換とかっていうのをやってきたんですけども、今回はさらにこう新しい形でのバトルっていうものが登場します。バトルロイヤルっていうものですね。
But with Pokemon series, obviously, using it as a kind of a communication tool, facilitating that communication between players has always been one of the things we've really focused on with the game. So trading and battling between players, of course. This time that's no different. We've got an all-new multiplayer battle mode, which we're calling the Battle Royale.
All right, well, let's see if our crew can load that up for us and we can check out this gameplay.
Battle Royale.
So as we get started here, can you tell us a little bit about what the rules are for Battle Royale and how the matches are decided?
そうです。このバトルロイヤルなんですけども、4人のプレイヤーがポケモンを3匹ずつバトルに出して戦うというルールです。今日はちょっと時間の関係で1匹にしています。
So in this mode, it's actually 4 players. Each player chooses up to 3 Pokemon and battles with 1 at a time. In this video here, we're just doing 1 Pokemon for the sake of time.
このバトルロイヤルの勝敗についてなんですけども、誰かの手持ちのポケモンが全て倒されたら試合終了となります。
So how this actually works with how it determines the winner. So this is a free-for-all battle, but whenever one of the trainers, when the first trainer to lose all of his or her Pokemon, that signals the end of the battle.
倒したポケモンの数と、残ったポケモンの数の合計が一番多いプレイヤーが勝者となります。
And then once the battle is over, once the first person loses all of their Pokemon, then to determine the winner, the game tallies up each player's how many Pokemon they've defeated and also how many Pokemon they have remaining on their team. And whoever has that high winner of the Battle Royale.
I think it's really interesting what this is going to do for strategy as folks are playing, because generally speaking, when you're thinking about how you're going to switch up your Pokemon to fight another trainer, it's only a one-on-one situation, so you can look at their Pokemon and say, okay, I've got this Pokemon that's against this one, but you're worried about 2 other opponents here, so you really have to think about who's going to fare best against a group.
3 other opponents, actually.
Yeah, it's...
そうですね、やっぱ今までだったらチーム戦とか、あと1対1のポケモンバトルが、多分主流だったと思うんですけども、今回は相手、3人気にしなきゃいけないっていうのは、特徴ですよね。
そうですね、今回特徴としてこう4匹いるポケモンの中で誰を倒すかっていうのを考えないといけません。で、例えば1匹すごい強いポケモンがいても3人で集中攻撃すれば倒せるといった戦略性もあります。
So yeah, it's a free-for-all, and of course, you could have 3 people gang up on one really strong person, or you really have to kind of determine your strategy about how you're gonna, which order you're gonna defeat Pokemon, who you're gonna focus on. Right. So totally new gameplay dynamic.
Yeah, it is interesting how much more intense it feels. Where I'm used to just looking at the trainer in front of me and fighting them, and suddenly it's like, oh, there's 2 more trainers. I have to pay attention to everybody. And folks watching there, you may have caught that the trainers there were wearing different outfits from what we saw with the regular player characters that we showed off so far. We can't really talk about that yet, but worth noticing.
ちょっとそれぞれのトレーナーやっぱ見た目とかあと服装が違うっていうのはちょっと気になりましたね。
また気づいちゃいましたね。
You got a good eye there.
これはあれですね。今回着せ替えが入ってます。
So yeah, you can actually customize your outfits in this game as well.
So we're just about out of time, but before we wrap up, I was curious, now that you've had a chance to see some fan reaction for these games, how's it been seeing how Pokemon fans have reacted for Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon?
ちょっと時間が来てしまいましたけれども、今回のポケモンサンムーン発表されてから、多分ファンからの反響というのはあるんですけれども、その手応えについてお話してもらえますか。
そうですね。今回、7言語から、9言語に中文を、増やしまして、特にその中文使われている人たちからもたくさん反響をいただいてまして、自分のツイッターとか、いただいてるんですけども、やっぱりこう、ポケモン20周年ということもあって、ここからさらにこう広がりを見せるために、非常にこうみんなが喜んでくれて、とても嬉しいなと思って。
So yes, the reaction from everyone has been really great. I get tons of messages and tweets and everything. This being the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, one of the goals we really want to kind of, for the future of Pokemon, really kind of expand it to even a wider audience. And as I think we've announced previously, in addition to the 7 languages we had, X and Y and Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, we also added Chinese, simplified Chinese, and traditional Chinese. And I think a lot of especially from those regions, like fans have really been kind of excited about it and sending me lots of great messages.
And is there anything final that you'd like to wrap up and say to fans who are watching the stream right now?
ちょっと最後にファンに向けてのメッセージということで、何かありますか？
そうですね、もう今までにないチャレンジをこのソフトはサンとムーンはしているので、皆さんすごい楽しみに待っていてください。
So yeah, I think Sun and Moon, we're really doing a lot of new challenges for us here as Game Freak. So I hope everyone really just look forward to the games.
Well, thank you.
自分も完全新作としてのディレクター初めてだったんで、たくさんの苦労があったんですけども、その甲斐があってすごいいいゲームができたので期待しててください。
So there was a lot of challenges for me, especially as it's the first time directing an entirely new generation of Pokemon at Game Freak. But I think we've really brought the game together. It's really turned into something fantastic, and I hope fans really look forward to it.
I know I'm definitely looking forward to it. And thank you so much for joining us and giving us some insight into the development work here. Folks watching again, that was Pokemon Sun and Pokemon Moon, which are coming out for the Nintendo 3DS family of systems this November, so you don't have to wait too much longer. And please don't go anywhere. In a few moments, we're actually going to be coming back. Aonuma-san is going to be stopping by to show us some gameplay for a game you might be thinking about, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Thank you.
Okay, well, yeah, that was a really long demo. Just to answer some of the questions, people were saying, like, obviously we have some smart asses in the comment section. How was it a mistake? Did they accidentally put it in the package? Oh, you're funny. Anyway, what I was meant by it was a mistake was that, like, they thought that people were going to jump all over this because it was a tablet. You know, Nintendo was chasing the tablet craze. I don't think that the Wii U gamepad was made intrinsically. Like, Nintendo wasn't thinking, okay, well, how are all of our games going to take advantage of a completely new, unique playstyle? Like, they kind of did that, like, with the Wii. The Wii was an intrinsic idea. You know, it wasn't based off of anything else. The Wii remote wasn't based off of anything else. I mean, other than Iwata's own ideas. The Wii U gamepad was literally made because they felt that the casual audience wants a tablet. You know, that's why the Wii U gamepad was made, because Nintendo felt that the casual audience is going to want a gamepad so they can play when somebody's on the TV, families in the living room. You know, they carried that mindset over, and but they made a grave mistake. That's not what people wanted. People didn't want a big bulky controller, you know, and having to look up and down and having to, you know, do different things like that, you know, with the console. They didn't want that. So that's what I meant by it was a mistake, you know. Exactly. Nintendo tried to hit the blue ocean strategy with Wii U, but missed. Exactly. They tried to hit the blue ocean strategy with the Wii U and missed. They did not make a controller that they felt was going to be best for their games. They made a controller that they felt casuals would jump onto and latch onto. That's what they did, because, you know, if they made the Wii U gamepad for their own games, then we would have seen massive RPGs all the time. We would have seen massive adventure games like Golden Sun and all that at the beginning of the launch. We wouldn't have seen 2D platformers and mini-game collections and games like Pikmin 3, which really didn't even use the gamepad that well. It used the Wii Remote and Nunchuck as pretty much the primary control scheme when Miyamoto was showing it off. Super Mario 3D World, same thing. I mean, it's like those games were not really built for the Wii U gamepad. They were built for just you know, anything, a normal controller or just playing with the, you know, a Wii remote and nunchucks. So, you know, they just built it to try to latch on to the casual audience. It wasn't built with core gamers in mind. In my opinion, it wasn't. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's and I think where people see a lot of issues with the Wii U gamepad and Wii U is that it jacked the price up of the system, you know, by a lot. So yeah. What if you could connect a nunchuck to the gamepad? Why the hell would you want to connect a nunchuck to the gamepad? Frankenstein controller over here. That would be a horrible idea. That would be. You got a nunchuck connected to your game. Why would you? How would you play it? Oh my gosh. He said Wii U came out too late. Should have came out 2010. You know, it is what it is. I mean, maybe. Another problem was that, you know, I did some more research and I was looking around and I was talking to people, and the Wii U GPU is based off of a 2008 Radeon AMD, or AMD, like Radeon graphics card. A 2008 graphics card. And that's what people were mad about. People were mad that the graphics card was the 2008 graphics card, and the system launched in 2012. So the graphics card was 4 years old when it launched, and the system could have been more powerful, but Nintendo put their money into the gamepad, which was barely used. So people were like, okay, this system doesn't have the features of an Xbox 360, doesn't have the features of a PS3. The graphics are pretty much on par or a little bit better than what we got in 2006. And the system itself is kind of slow. It's lacking third-party. The third-party games that are on there are running bad. Like, just the design of the console, what Nintendo was aiming for, was just everything was wrong. They misread the market. Like the late Satoru Iwata said himself, they completely misread the market. They completely 100% misread the market. And so yeah. Yeah, people don't, you know, people don't know that the graphics card in the Wii U is based off of a 2008, the Radeon 4000 series 2008 graphics card. That is pitiful that Nintendo would go that low with the graphics card. Like, the system, they took a graphics card from 2008 and stuck it in a system that came out 4 years later. I mean, the Wii also had a really, you know, was really weak because it was based off of the GameCube architecture, so that was even older in comparison. But at the same time, the Wii was clearly like blue ocean strategy, like casual, you know, new interface. You know, Nintendo tried to make it seem as if the Wii U was like, you know, super hardcore core gamers, like the graphics are going to be there for everyone, when really it was, you know, they really, yeah, so yeah. But, I mean, like I said, I think they've learned their lesson for the most part, you know. So, yeah. They're still streaming. It's just, so yeah, I don't know. They're taking some time to set up the new whatever. So I'll take some questions in the chat if you guys want to give me some questions. But do you think if the gamepad was more sleek and smaller, people wouldn't have had a problem with it? I think if Nintendo used the Nintendo 3DS, if they thought ahead and used the 3DS as the gamepad, and the system just came, like if the Wii U just came with this and they said that, hey, you can use your 3DS as a gamepad, or I mean, I just think that's what they should have done. I don't think that the whole off-TV play and gamepad should have been the main gimmick of the system. I just don't think that should have been the main gimmick. The main thing of the system, to me, should always be games. You know, I'm not a huge fan of the Wii era. You know, I'm not a huge fan of the whole, oh, we have these new different type of things. I've always felt that Nintendo's games are innovative because of the actual gameplay. I've never felt that I needed some type of... Oh, never mind.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3. I'm Ed, here with Bill and Noriko, as well as a very special guest, Mr. Ayanuma, has joined us here. We're going to talk a little bit about a little game here that I think a lot of people are excited about, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Before we jump right into things, though, Mr. Ayanuma, I think, is there anything, a message you have to the fans?
アヌマさんからファンへのメッセージを。
ゼルダのね、当たり前を見直すって言って作ってきたこの、ブレスオブザワイルド、いっぱい話したいことあるんですけど、もうトレーラーも見ていただいたし、ファンの皆さんは早くゲーム見たいと思ってると思うんですね。なのでもうゲーム始めたいと思うんですけど。
So I've created this game thinking about breaking the conventions of Zelda, and I know that a lot of fans have seen the trailer and they probably want us to jump right in, so why don't we get started?
Let's do it.
We're going to be showing a lot of The Legend of Zelda today, starting right here. We're going to show you what you can do, and we're going to introduce you to this amazing world, but we're going to try not to spoil anything, so feel free to tune in for as long as you like.
ネタバレなしで。
Open your eyes. Open your eyes. Wake up, Link.
This is a very mysterious place, Aonuma-san.
ちょっと神秘的な場所ですけれども。
そうですね。ゼルダの当たり前を見直すって言いながら、昔いつもと同じような目覚めるシーンから始まってますけどね。
I've talked about breaking the conventions of Zelda, but Link does start by waking up.
Keep that rooted in the tradition.
伝統を守るという感じでいいんじゃないでしょうか。
ただまあ本当にミステリアスな、ね、場所で。不思議な感じですね。
This really is a mysterious place, and it's kind of very.
That is a Sheikah slate. Take it. It will help guide you after your long slumber.
So here we see the introduction of a very mysterious item.
神秘的なアイテムが出てきましたが。
ね、ゼルダって今まで剣と魔法のね、その世界だったんですけど、今回はこんなね、何か新しいテクノロジーのような感じですね。
So in the past series, we've used swords and magic, but this time around, we introduced technology.
I know a lot of people are going to be so excited to see how that plays out in this game because that's such a great new wrinkle to add to the Zelda franchise.
シーガーストーンがどんな感じでゲームで使われるのかっていうのをファンの皆さんが期待していると思います。
でもやっぱり宝箱を開けるんです。
And he's going to start by opening the treasure box.
宝箱からが出てきたのね、服なんですね。
These are clothing items that he can wear.
リンク今まで裸同然でしたから。
Link was pretty much naked.
これ裸でもできるけどね。
Oh, Bill, you can actually play this nude too if you want.
Not quite my style.
僕のスタイルではないのに遠慮しておきます。
はい、OK です。
That would also make you very vulnerable to enemies, just so you know.
で、敵にもちょっとそれで防備力が下がってしまう。
That will show you the way.
And so we see here one of the functionalities of the Sheikah Slays activating
これがシーカストーンの
this pedestal
機能の一つです
and opening this door here.
So it starts.
Link, you are the light. Our light. That must shine upon Hyrule once again. Now go.
画面にジャンプっていうふうに書かれてますけど、今回ね、初めてボタンでジャンプするようになりました。
So as you can see on the screen, it says jump. Now jump for the first time.
そのジャンプはああやって壁を登るためなんですね。
And the jump is for him to climb up the wall.
So beautiful.
Now we see the subtitle on screen. Perhaps this would be a good time for Aonuma-san to talk about that a little bit.
サブタイトルが画面に出てきましたけども、これについてちょっとご説明いただけますか。
ゼルダってね、今までアイテム名とかキャラクター名がサブタイトルにつくことが多かったんですけど、今回はね、この世界そのものの名前です。
So in the previous titles, we used character names and item names as subtitles, but this time around, we wanted to showcase the world of Zelda.
And I think, especially from that sweeping panoramic shot right there, we see how much of a character the world is, how much of a presence the world is in this. And I know, hearing some of the iterations of possibilities for the subtitle, and you know, I remember the moment when I first heard Breath of the Wild, and it was just like, oh, that's it, that's the right one. It felt so right with this. In tune with the nature and the sort of expansiveness of this world.
このゲームの背景を見たり、その自然の要素っていうのを見ていると、初めてそのサブタイトルを伺った時に、これだ、これがもうぴったり合うっていうふうに感じました。
はい、こうやってね、どんどんね、壁とか山とか登っていけるんですね。
So Link can climb the mountain or the wall, just like you said, you saw here.
で横に緑色のゲージがありますけど、頑張りゲージって言って、あれが続く限り登っていけるわけです。
So that is the green. You see the green gauge on the left. That's the stamina gauge, and you can kind of see how much he can climb by that gauge.
で、世界に転がっていろんなものをね、どんどん手に入れることができるわけ。
And then there's a lot of items scattered all around the world, and you can take those. You can pick those up.
任天堂といえば。
And then, as Nintendo, we of course have to have this item right here, mushrooms.
We love our mushrooms.
このキノコは大きくなったりしませんけど。
This mushroom is not going to make Link any bigger.
Good to know.
はい。大きな岩とかもね、落ちたりいろいろしてこうやってその世界にあるいろんなものにこうリンクはこういろいろアクションできるんですね。
So as you can see, Link can push off big rocks down the hill. He can use all these little items and elements and incorporate it into gameplay.
See already, Bill doing some gathering, a lot of climbing here. And already there's this sense of you're just thrown into this world of exploration right off the bat.
Head for the point marked on the map in your Sheikah slate.
Somebody's calling you, Bill.
So here we get our first look at the map. This circular area here being the extent of the E3 demo that we're showing. This is a high plateau in the center of Hyrule. We'll give you just a sneak peek of how big that is, but I think you'll get to see a better look at the scale of the world later on today.
ハイラルの真ん中に位置しているE3 バージョンで見れるマップは後でまた別の機会にお見せしましょう。
Oh, I got a baked apple.
焼きリンゴ。
怒られた。
No, you took a baked apple.
He scolded you.
Oh. Now, who is this gentleman, Mr. Aonuma? Would you like to share with people?
この男性は誰なんでしょうか。ご説明いただけますか。
不思議ですね。
He's kind of myserious looking.
一番最初のゼルダで出会ったのもこういうローズでしたよね。
And in the first of the series, I think you met a guy like this.
He says this is the Great Plateau, and he describes it as the birthplace of the Kingdom of Hyrule.
ハイラル王国の誕生の地、始まりの大地ということです。
もうちょっとなんか遺跡のような感じになってしまう神殿ですね。
So you can see the temple that's very worn down.
Yes, he says the kingdom is in a state of decay.
なんか王国がちょっと崩壊しているっていう。
どういうこと？
So I picked up a tree branch earlier. Currently, it's all I have for a weapon, but you can see very quickly the things that I can do with a tree branch.
さっき枝をピックアップしたんですけども、これが唯一の今持っている武器なんだけども、結構いろんなことができる。
そうですね。
I can.
いろんなことできますけど、そんなにいろいろ火つけたら大変なことになりますよ。
You can do a lot of things, but you can't just set everything on fire.
Right. I think we've just seen a window into Bill's play style.
ビルのプレイスタイルが今ちょっと垣間見れましたね。
I picked up an axe, and so I can also swap my weapons out. So I'll switch over to the axe. The axe is great because I can chop down trees if I want to get to some apples.
Use all the resources.
Right? I can even chop the logs that I've cut to get firewood, which I can later use to set a campfire.
丁寧に全部こう紐で巻いてあるってすごいですね。
So it's very nice, neatly bundled up already for you.
It's amazing.
Convenient. Yeah, I think honestly, first time I got my hands on the realm, I spent the first 20 minutes like chopping down trees and climbing trees. That's all I did.
はじめこのゲームをプレイした初めてプレイした時にとりあえずもうなんか木を切り倒したり木登ったりすることに集中してました。
はい。
I've always been a big fan of the Koroks.
この子たちはね、この世界の至る所にこう隠れてるんですね。
So these guys are actually hiding everywhere in the world here.
Oh, what do we have there?
Aonuma-san, it looks like I've already come across the Master Sword.
見つかったか。
Maybe you found it.
見つかってしまったか。
Did you get it already? Did you find it?
あ、まずい。
Oh.
残念でした。
No.
こんなところにね、そんな重要なものが置いてあるわけないですよ。
There's no way I'm going to play something that important here.
That would be the ultimate in breaking with the Zelda conventions.
それはなんかゼルダの当たり前を見直すっていうのの一番。
Now I do need a shield, so I think I'm gonna run up this way. As you can see, the world is open to me. I can go any direction that I want, but I'm gonna run up here through the grass. I've had a sword, so perhaps I should cut some grass. But not.
でも何も出てきません。
もうリンクはダメージ受けたらどうやって回復するんだって話ですよね。
So I guess you want to know how Link can get life after getting a damage. So let's try fighting some of these enemies.
Bill has stumbled onto a goblin camp here.
Oh.
He's gonna dispatch them with some extreme prejudice here, I think.
There we go. It's not much of a shield, but I've got a pot lid.
とりあえずシールドをゲットしました。
Uh-oh. Oh, he's taunting me. Oh no, I'm gonna need some health here in a bit.
No. And his sword broke, so...
Oh, your shield broke.
Oh, that was the
I
shield?
stole his spear.
今回ね、リンクが持ってる武器はね、使ってるうちに壊れちゃうんですよ。
So for this title, the weapons that Link have actually will break as he used them.
で今ビルも敵からこうやって武器を奪いましたけど、こうやってねどんどん強い敵倒して強い武器を手に入れる、そういうゲームが進みますね。
So the cycle of this game is that you go into a battle with enemies and then you take their weapons, and then so you can use them as your own.
So perhaps we'll head down and check out some of these ruins.
いるハートなくなっちゃった。
Oh,
回復
yes.
しなきゃ。
Your heart's getting a little lower, Bill.
どうやったら回復できるかというと、
So let's
そ
see
の
how you
キノコを取ってましたけど、その下にハートのマーク見えますよね。
So you can see that little heart icon on the
これはハー
mushroom.
トが半分回復することを指してます。
And then it shows that you can get half of the heart back if you
で
eat it.
今回はね草を切ってハートで回復するんではなくて、リンクは物を食べて回復します。
So this time around, you're not going to find any hearts in the grass, but you're going to be eating these food items, and you can get your stamina back up.
Using that way to replenish your health. I love that notion of really having to take advantage of the resources in the world with grabbing the weapons we were talking about. You know, you're getting those from enemies. You're finding them in certain places and then using the food as this resource to keep your health up is also really interesting. It's a lot of fun.
周りにある敵の武器だったり食べ物だったり、そうやってリソースを駆使して進めていくっていうゲームのスタイルがすごく楽しいです。
そうですね。だからねちょっとねサバイバルな感じですよね。現地でとにかくいろんなものを調達しなきゃいけないっていう。
So it's almost like a survival game where you have to get all the collections so you can move on with the game.
Executing the flurry rush.
あれは今敵の攻撃に対してビルがうまくこうジャンプで避けたんですよね。そうするとスローモーションになって敵にヒットを与えやすくなるんですね。
So when you get a perfect timing, the enemy slows down and then it's easier for you to attack the enemies.
Looks like I got a new pair of trousers, which I've been needing to pick up. So,
新しいパンツをゲットしたので、それに着替えます。
okay. You can see that there's quite a lot to look around at and discover in the world. I'm going to run past those barrels there.
周りにいろいろあるので、いろいろと探求心というか、辺りを見回すのがすごく楽しいです。
Aonuma-san, we don't have a good idea of what's going on in Hyrule here, but everything seems to be in ruin.
ちょっとハイラルが荒廃化というか、なんか遺跡化してしまっているので。
そうですね。これも昔のトレーラーでもお見せしました今回のトレーラーにいたガーディアンですね。
So you saw these guys in the trailer, they're guardians.
っていう敵なんですけど、今動かなくなっちゃってますねもう。
And they're enemies, but as you can see, these guys are not moving anymore.
だからなんかその間にこう時間の経過っていうのがあるんでしょうね。
So there must be some sort of a time lapse.
So I know a lot of people are going to be really excited about how you're dropped into this world, and there's minimal backstory. There's not a lot up front in this game other than here you are. What are you going to do? What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And then yet there's so many hints in this environment about that hint of something greater has happened, and I think people will be really interested to see the story sort of unfold as they play the game.
ゲームが始まってから、どのような舞台設定なのかっていうのはユーザーさんの方でまだ詳しく分かりませんけども、こうやってゲームを進めていくうちにいろいろとヒントが見つかって、こんなんなんじゃないか、あんなんなんじゃないかっていうふうに考え始めることでユーザーさんも楽しまれるんじゃないでしょうか。
そうですね。やっぱりそういうことが自然とこう分かってくるっていうのが面白いじゃないですか。ゲームって端的にこういろいろ伝えたくなっちゃうんですけど、今回はねそういうところがもうじわじわとこう分かってくる形になってるので、ぜひ楽しみにしてほしいと思いますね。
So I think with this title you'll be able to learn these backstories, like you said, Ed, that you'll be able to learn them little by little on your own pace. It's not that the game is telling you, but you can kind of explore and find out on your own.
This might also be a good time to talk a little bit about the art style and just the nature of the game itself. If you look at Link and the world, it's clearly deeply inspired by Japanese animation.
で今このリンクのアートスタイルなんかを見ると日本のアニメに随分と影響を受けているんじゃないかっていうふうなことが感じられますけどどうでしょうか。
そうですね。ゼルダでいうとね、風のタクトの時にトゥーンっていう表現を使ってそのアニメーションの表現を取り入れてみたんですけれども、それはねそういう世界が広くその自然の中にものがあるんですけど、それをはっきり分からせるためには描き込むよりももっと簡素なマイナスしていくね、削っていってはっきりそれを分からせるこういうアニメーションの技法の方がゲームには向いてると思いますね。
So we've used this tune-like style before in the previous title, but in order for the players to see an item, to find an item, it's actually easier to use the animation style where you create something and then you shave off the elements, so the users will be able to identify the items easier rather than adding on elements to the background.
なのでそのアニメーションっていうその技法を使って表現するっていうことがテーマではなくて、それをねゲームの規模に合わせてそれを選んだっていうことなんですね。
So the theme here is not that we wanted to create an animation style game, but we wanted to use this art style and then match it to the functions of this game.
And you see here the time limit on the demo that people have access to on the show floor.
Yeah, we were supposed to disable that. That was my mistake.
That's all right. That's all right. And I think people saw, that actually gives people at home a sense of how much time people are going to have here. And as Reggie said, nobody's going to be able to explore even just this small area that we're showing here at E3, and that speaks to just how large this experience is going to be, and I think people are going to be really excited to just get that little taste of it.
さっきレジも言ってましたけれども、本当に今回ショーフロアでデモをしても本当に一部の部分しかマップの一部しかゲーム内の一部しかプレイできないので、今のこの切れてしまいましたけれども、それでどれぐらいの本当短い時間にどれぐらいちょっとしか見れないかっていうのが、ビューアーの皆さんにも分かった、視聴者の皆さんにも分かったんじゃないか。
そうですね。
But in going back and talking about the art style, the colors are very reminiscent of a type of paint called gouache, and gouache it's a material that is used frequently in animation. But it's also a material that's used in a style of painting that is called en plein air, or in English, open air painting, where you go out into the environment and you sit down in front of the object that you intend to paint, and you paint it in that real world setting. And then, as we started looking at the art style and its similarities to gouache and that connection, we also started to feel that the music in the game also has a very open-air feeling to it. Isn't that correct, Aonuma-san?
このアートスタイルも随分そうやってグワッシュとか使っているような感じのスタイルですけれども、音楽自体もとてもなんかオープンエアっていうテーマにぴったりな気がするんですけども、そこら辺のご説明っていうのをお願いできますか。
どこに行って何をするのも自由な今回のゲームなのでね、あるルートに沿って遊んでってもらって、その間に音楽を盛り立てていくみたいなことが今回使えないんですね。
So because the players will be able to explore and do anything that they want to, we couldn't use the conventional types of music where we know that where the users would go, and we can kind of get the music more dynamic that you hear throughout the game, and then we try to blend that music, that sound into the game as much as we can.
先ほどから見ていただいてたまに流れてくるピアノのねあると思うんですけど。
And then you can hear a little piano, sounds of piano throughout the game, I think.
ピアノのね音っていうのは自然の音にすごくマッチするんですね。
And then the sounds of piano actually matches this nature element very well.
なおかつ人の内面に働きかけるような響きを。
And then the sounds of piano actually kind of strikes a chord in people's emotions too. So I think it works really well.
なのでリンクが何かの目的のもとで何かをしようとしているときにたまたま偶然にまたそのピアノの曲に出会うとぐっと気持ちが盛り上がって。
So when you're playing the game and when Link goes through something, and then if that piano sound happens to come on, it kind of it makes you feel so emotional just hearing that perfect match of the movement and the music.
だって本当の偶然の出会いなんですよ。だから100人いたら100人の人が違う体験をするっていうそれを感じてほしくてすごい。
So the music is our intention was to, because this game it has 100 ways of playing it if there is 100 players playing it. So we kind of wanted to make that that very unique experience for every player.
I know longtime fans of the series, that's going to be one of the first things they notice. You know, there's not the constant theme music always present everywhere you go. And this new take on the on the aural experience is really refreshing. It's true to the game, and it does resonate. It feels really good to play.
ゼルダファンにとっては常にこうテーマ音楽が流れているようなバックグラウンド流れているような感じではないので、やっぱり今回のBGM に関してはすごくみんな気づくと思うんですけれども違いに。でもやっぱり青沼さんがおっしゃったように本当に心にグッとくるような音楽なので、すごくこのプレイスタイルに合っていると思います。
よかったです。
Yeah, I'm really happy to hear that, Ed.
Bill continuing his campaign of brutality.
裸ですね。
Yes, I forgot to. Sorry, I forgot to put my pants on.
Just like any other day.
So we do have, one of the things that we're not showing in this morning segment that's going to be coming up in just a little bit is puzzle solving. You'll be seeing some of that today. You'll be seeing quite a bit of exploration in the ways to use the objects that you've discovered. But one of the things, there's a lot of different ways that you can kind of experiment with the environment and the world here in Breath of the Wild. So I'm just going to have a little bit of fun with a little project I wanted to try out here.
午後のセグメントでは謎解きだったりいろいろな他のマップの他のエリアの探求なんかもしますけど、ちょっと今回はビルがやりたかったビルのプロジェクトにちょっと今集中して
何をしてんのそれ。
Oh. Okay, well,
I like that you call this setup a project, Bill.
Let's see.
ほぼ何がしたいか分かりません。
I don't know what you're trying to do here, Bill.
Let's see. Close enough. Oh.
Get another club?
Let's see if we can make that happen. Oh, no, not quite.
なんとなく分かった。
Maybe I have an idea here.
No. Oh.
Hey, you live.
I did. I survived.
死なずに。
Well done.
Now,
でもかなりやばいぞ。
that was,
But look at your heart, Bill.
that was quite dangerous.
Thank you for joining us for
we have a little bit of news. I think everybody has been excited for some special Zelda items coming to Miitomo.
なんかミートモに新しいゼルダのアイテムが登場するということで。
We've just been told that those items will be going live at 3 p.m. Pacific time, so be sure to check into Miitomo today to get your free Zelda-themed items there. We have a lot more Zelda coming up today.
A lot more Zelda.
As we've talked about, we're really focusing on introducing you to the world, the things you can do in the world, how you're going to be surviving. It's really all about the actions and the activities. You won't be seeing so much in terms of characters and story, so if you're the type of person who doesn't want to be spoiled, feel free to tune in all day.
Yeah.
で今日も午後からいろいろとキャラクターとストーリーというにフォーカスしたものではなくて、他の要素にフォーカスしたツリーハウスライブのセグメントがあるので皆さんご覧になってください。
まだまだたくさん伝えたいことよろしくお願いします。
There's so much more I want to tell you about this game, so please look forward to it.
Yes, so stay tuned. We're going to take another look at our next segment. We're going to be focused on some exploration. So thank you, Noriko, Mr. Ainuma, thank you, Bill, thank you very much for your time. And don't go anywhere. We got more Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild coming up.
Okay, I guess I'll talk now a little bit. The game looks amazing. I want the game at this point, you know? Like, it looks fantastic. It looks so good. They've done a good job with everything. It sounds more than promising, you know? It's amazing how the game looks, but they've been working on this game for a long time. This will be a killer app for the Nintendo NX. Like, the NX is going to sell based on this game. When Nintendo reveals the NX version of this game, people are going to rush out and buy Nintendo NX for this game. I mean, it's pretty much, that's a guarantee. It's going to be the same thing that happened with the Wii. Not necessarily as big, like, you know, as many sales, but the NX is going to sell like crazy because of this game. I mean, that's just it's going to happen, you know. So yeah, it's definitely going to happen. Yeah, Chad Evans says, I don't like the idea of items/weapons breaking. Whatever, you know. I'm not a huge. Maybe not every single item or weapon will break. I mean, I don't think like when you get your Master Sword, I don't think that's gonna break. You know, but I mean, I'm not a huge fan of breaking weapons either. But then at the same time, there might be equipment or upgrades that you can do to reinforce the weapon so they don't break as much, or they end up not breaking. There might be something for that, so we'll have to just wait and see. Beautiful, but still empty for none. I don't understand when people say something's empty. If the game has hillsides, the game has mountains, the game has, that's how Countryside looks. Like, Countryside isn't filled up with a bunch of buildings and stuff. There's hills and mountains and different locations. That's how Skyrim is. That's how all open world games that are set in a country setting are, or set in like wide landscapes. Like, people were saying the same thing about Horizon Zero Dawn. It looks empty. It's like, do you guys not play open? I mean, is Red Dead Redemption empty too? Like, every single game that's set in rural settings, everybody says is empty. It's not Grand Theft Auto 4 or 5. It's not a city. It's a rural setting, so you're going to get mountains, open, wide, luscious spaces. It's not an adventure game. It's not a linear, you know, game. It's a wide open world game. I mean, it's the same thing. Like I said, people were saying that about Red Dead. People were saying that about Horizon Zero Dawn. People say that about every single, you know, rural setting game. It looks empty. Not that I'm mad at you or anything. I'm just saying, like, I'm getting kind of tired of people saying that, especially when the developers take so much time to put these landscapes together and all these different locations and everything like that. And then, like, the first thing people say is it's empty. It's like, oh gosh. All right. And look, we've got people saying it's a huge map, but that's the whole game. Lame. I mean, like, they haven't even showed the whole game yet we have people saying it's the whole game. It's the jumping to conclusions that I just find so funny with people. I mean, I don't know if it's trolling or not, but it's probably trolling. And this person says no voice acting, even though there was clearly voice acting in the game. Nintendo clearly said that they're not going to want to spoil stories, so obviously the major parts are going to have voice acting. But then we have people saying that there's no voice acting, you know. Let's see here. OJ, talk when you can. I'm talking. I couldn't talk throughout that whole segment because they were talking the whole time, you know. So I couldn't speak because they were talking the whole time. So, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, this Eevee Party 97. The whole place isn't flat. There's mountains and wildlife. It's a rural game. And you guys want cities all over the place? It's rural. When you go to Kentucky or Alabama or any other rural place, like if you're out in the countryside, that's how it looks. Mountains, landscapes. Where I live in Central California, there's many huge rural areas, you know, of just big open, wide open places, you know, with mountains, and that's how it looks. Like the Grapevine looks like that. Areas along the Grapevine when you're driving to Los Angeles. I mean, that's how a rural area looks, guys. I love Nintendo. Just admit when they screw up. I've admitted that they screwed up lots of times, but you're assuming that the whole game is one way when we've just seen a small part of it. You need to understand when you don't know what you're talking about. You need to understand when you haven't seen the full game. That's what you need to understand, and you need to understand that your trolling isn't working. So shut up. You're not phasing me with your trolling, you know. So Nintendo has already admitted that they've screwed up a million times. Everybody has admitted that. Pretty much everyone here pretty much knows that Nintendo screwed up. I don't know why people say that. People don't say that Nintendo, like, you know, doesn't admit it. Nintendo already has admitted that. So I've already talked about that many times about Nintendo screwed up. I have had many people get mad at me, you know. So because I'm not afraid to talk, you know, when Nintendo screws up. So, you know, whatever. You don't know what it is. You're just talking. We've seen a fraction of the game. You have no clue. It's not over yet. I mean, no, you can't. Nintendo even said this is just a small fraction of the game. So there's no way anybody can sit here and tell me, oh, this is the whole game or this is everything based off of that small, tiny demo of the game. Especially when you compare that to all the different stuff that you saw in the official trailer, like the different types of armor and different locations that you saw in the trailer. How can you sit here and tell me that what we just saw was the whole game when they just showed us in the trailer of all the different areas? Like, you sound stupid, or you just sound, I mean, you're trolling. I mean, obviously it's a troll at this point. So, you know, if more comments come up like that, then I'm just gonna time people out. Just like I did, I timed people out during the Sony conference. I'm gonna time people out here if you're gonna just start, you know, spreading misinformation, because we've seen in the trailer that what they just showed us right now is not the whole game, and then you have people in the chat spreading misinformation. So let's just chill with this, guys. Same thing, like I said, same thing during the Sony conference. You know, same thing during the Microsoft conference. The trolling needs to stop. Rob Morris, this dude be posting all sorts of stuff. What's up, dude? The world looks massive, maybe bigger than X. I don't know if it's gonna be bigger than X, but we'll see. I'm doing good, Rob. I might like this game more than Twilight Princess. I think this game's gonna be better than Twilight Princess. I mean, personally, I'm already liking what they're doing more than Twilight Princess. The fact that you can, like, climb up with your hands, the fact that there's like a loot system and different armor, I already like that more than Twilight Princess. So we'll see. I know Link can finally jump after 30 years. Finally, he can jump. I think that's really cool too. The fact they have the sprinting back, they have the jumping back, they have climbing. Man, it's going to be really cool. They have the little. Oh, okay, we're back.
Hiko and Teresa. So just a few minutes ago.
Let's do some climbing, shall we?
Yeah. So Mr. Anuma and Bill kind of looked around the bottom of the temple. So now I'm going to go up and see how the world will look like.
It should be noted that the first time I found this temple, I tried to climb up the other side where there's no ladder, and I fell and I died.
Yeah, I didn't know there's a ladder neither.
You did that and you felt so proud of yourself?
Yeah, I did.
And it was only later you walked around and was like, oh, ladder.
Yeah, well, the game encourages you to climb. What can I say? I figured I was doing the right thing.
Have to be careful.
Steady.
No!
We already had Bill set himself on fire.
That
it's
is
all right.
true.
Even if he plunged to your death, I don't think it's.
Does that mean we have to ramp it up now? We're just gonna. We have to beat him, I think, on the glorious death first.
All right, then I'm just gonna go up.
Challenge accepted.
Ooh, this is my favorite moment. When I go up to the peak, I can actually see the sun coming up.
Yeah, it's kind of scary actually how many times I've done that playing early builds of this game where you just sort of you want to get to high spaces so you can just look around different times of day, different weather. You know, it just it's so fantastic.
Yeah, it's interesting how much it changes, and especially here since we don't have any control as we're showing this game off to what the weather's going to do. So it's nice right now that we've got a good scene to show people, but it could just easily be raining and.
So since this is an exploration segment, I kind of want to try to explore a lot, and I'm going to try to head toward the highest peak in this plateau, which I think is that thing.
Yes.
So I'm going to use the scope. You see, so using the scope, you can actually pin things, so you can see where you're heading toward. So right now, I'm right here. and I'm trying to go to the Mount Hylia, the highest peak on this plateau we're on.
It's crazy thinking this is just the plateau that we have visible here, but this is a tiny portion of the world.
Yeah.
Yep. This is how big the world is.
Having the topographical details on the map too are hugely important. It's like when you look at it, when you're sitting there staring at your map and trying to figure out how to get somewhere, you can see obviously if you have huge elevation gains that you have to get over, planning your route becomes really important.
Yep. And just for the Treehouse Live, Mr. Aonuma gave us a very special bonus. So we can actually use the paraglider in this one. So I'm going to try to take the scenic route.
You're going in the drink. You're going in the water.
Oh,
no.
Are you going to make it?
Maybe. I will make it. I will make it. Yes. Oh, wait. There's something here. Is
Resources.
Shiny.
Yeah.
That's actually one thing I found really useful about being able to plan your location before you actually get going, because the number of times I've gotten waylaid by collecting stuff or hunting, or I'm totally off of where I intended to go, and then I can check and be like, oh yeah, I was supposed to go over there. I should get back to that when I'm done collecting stuff.
No, that happens all the time. Like every nook and cranny. I mean, it's not like you're going to find, this incredible sword around every nook and cranny, but there's always something. It's like whether it's an apple or it's something that you're going to use later on. There's stuff. There's secrets everywhere, so you get really distracted.
And I collect everything I see.
I feel like I just saw Bill doing a naked speed run down this path. Like, luckily we're going a different route. He went down the path. We're going up.
Yep, we're going to the different direction. Oops. So this is actually the peak or the cliff Link first come out from the Resurrection Cave, I think. That's where it was, I think. Yeah. And he came up right here.
Hey, in case anybody's wondering too, because we obviously just went through Mr. Aonuma's section, the first time you pick something up, it stops and tells you what it is, but thereafter, if you pick up the same item, you're not going to get interrupted with sort of that little text bubble telling you what it is. You just pick it up and just keep rolling.
Okay. So my destination is actually behind me, but I'm going to try to go around this cave and do some jumping.
I love doing that. It's so interesting how with this game, so much of it is being able to take your adventure into your own hands, do whatever you want to do, go where you want to go, and starting the game, one of the first things you can do is just run yourself
dive off the cliff. Yeah, I totally did that.
Yeah, I found I've made many entertaining mistakes as I've been exploring, and I got a little maybe over-enthusiastic.
But I mean, somebody could have, instead of going down that path as the game sort of gently guides you to do, somebody could have just taken a left out of that cave and come right up here if they wanted to.
Yep.
And then they'd get in trouble.
You decided what to do. Oh, wait.
Oh, Chico.
Oh, really? I missed him.
Chico, it should be noted, for those of you guys who are watching, Chico likes to shoot everything that moves, but you don't have to do that, of course. Obviously, you can survive and play this entire game without hunting innocent animals like Chico. Well, no, and bad animals. Bad animals.
I'm an animal lover, so, you know.
Girls gotta eat.
And actually, this is something that folks probably noticed during the Aonuma segment, that this area is really taken over by bokoblins, so you have to be really careful as you're running around these hills. Like that. There are all these little encampments that you can run across. And depending on which direction you come at them from, you could be climbing from the other way, crest that hill, and suddenly you're smack in the middle of this camp.
Yeah. These guys have a really sweet camp. Look at the view from that camp. That is where I would camp.
And they have meat. I want meat.
Nice roll.
So much for their peaceful camping.
Oh, you missed it.
They got their attention, though.
Wait.
That's all right. They're stupid.
Yeah. They're not.
They might just
They're like, that was just an exploding grasshopper. Yeah, just went over there and blew up.
Oh, God.
Nice roll.
It's close.
Maybe not.
I think there's a really
I think you got, yeah, you got a
there
good.
taking it.
Oh man, Chico's
getting
her own.
Oh. Ah, I wanted to get them before they get that weapon, but...
Oh, oh, you went over the side. Chico, come on.
What? I'm just trying to
These dudes are chilling. They're like, we got our permit, we got our giant hunk of ham.
Oh, they were looking forward to such a good time.
No, they're bad. They're bad creatures.
Look at this giant meat.
Yeah,
It's
you gotta,
glistening.
You gotta grab that.
Yes, I have.
It looks so delicious.
Haha.
Oh, seared. Yeah, would have been a good meal for him.
Yeah, well, I will enjoy it for them.
Finders keepers. They're no longer here, so it's all Chico.
And now you're gonna burn their stuff. That's good.
The stream's kind of buffering on their end, guys.
Haha. You
Oh,
can
yeah,
set fire on that.
Oh, there might be something in there.
Maybe. Wait.
Since this is going to be a long segment, guys, I will be back in a bit. Well, I'm just going to go make something to eat, but yeah, I'll be back.
Oh, yeah. Whenever you're doing anything in this game.
Look at that. There's something more.
Oh yeah, go down there.
Well, it's going to have a really real effect on what's going on.
Stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
So this is ore. You can of course whale on this. You could also blow it up. Various minerals and other things.
Yeah. I should do that.
You gotta
That's
save that
easier.
axe. It's like you might need that. Maybe a square bomb.
Wait, I have to change it. Okay. So there are two different types of remote bomb in this one, and the square one is much easier to just keep it in place. Oops, I won't do it.
And the spheres, unfortunately, were all the
Whoa.
shadows.
It's a big old cloud just went overhead.
Actually, can we look up for a second? I just want to see if that cloud's...
Yeah, hold on.
It might have been a zeppelin. I'm just kidding. There's no zeppelins in this game. Just weather, I think.
Oh, it's fast. It's good. I was a little worried a storm was rolling in and everything was going start getting all slippery.
There's another camp over there. So one of the different things about this game is that many of the bokoblins actually live in the camp instead of just scattering around.
Yeah, that's true. You'll run into some monsters that are just sort of wandering the environment, but they actually have their own little communities. They'll gather in camps and
just having fun until Link comes over.
Making their evil plots.
I like Chico's showing right here, right now. It's that you have all this environment to explore and at your own pace, and you can just climb everything and just try to investigate in different ways and take different paths. It's not linear or anything. You just choose your own adventure.
And there's so much hidden goodness to find.
Right?
So if that cliff had been higher, like her stamina wheel basically, it allowed her to get that high. But like if that had been a higher cliff, you probably would have had to find another way around.
So I kind of have to know like what's my limit before I start climbing up.
Getting into some serious elevation here. I love this about the game. It feels like look around for just 1 second, Chico. I love how the natural progression of the environment sort of looks like you would expect, sort of as you go up into like sort of mountain meadows and stuff like that. You'd expect the trees to change. You know, you'd expect some more like sort of wild meadows, and then as you get into an area with snow, it's like the transitions feel really like a natural world to me.
Looking in that other direction, there's a very ominous direction on the horizon.
Let's not go there today.
Let's
try to stay on the plateau.
There's no goblins. Oh, wait, I couldn't take that.
I don't know if we're going to be able to stop Chico from just sort of going and attacking everything she sees. That's all right. No, it's good. Especially because it illustrates that you really can approach this 1,000 different. Last one you sort of sent in some bombs to introduce yourself to him, but didn't have to.
Oh, he sees
Sentry. He doesn't see you.
And actually,
he definitely doesn't see you now.
The enemy is really interesting because depending on what you're fighting, these guys behave a certain way, different enemies will behave more aggressively or more cautiously. But I think we noticed in an earlier section there with that first camp where they actually hadn't picked up their weapons yet. So being able to get involved before they grab their weapons, it might have been easier, but then they have a chance to grab their gear,
Totally.
grab each other's gear.
Yeah, if you sneak in and grab their weapons, they basically sit there and try to pick up dirt.
Oh yeah, before that you won't. They're just like, come on.
Yeah, it's like, stay away from me. Or you can, Chico just used an axe there, which you can have shields out of enemy hands. The heavier weapons can knock out shields. Then picked up his weapons, and now it's like, what is this dude going to do? He's not going to do anything.
Oh, there's one.
Yeah, check him out. Dude, I think that was dirt. That might have been some dirt.
Let's call it dirt.
Yeah, I think it was dirt.
Seems safe.
Oh, there's a straggler
Better
there.
than something more unpleasant. And it's actually interesting too that right now we're fighting during a fairly nice sunny clear day, but how this would go and also how the bokoblins would behave might be very different if we came back here at night or if we came here during different weather.
That's right. A lot of enemies sleep at night. You can sneak in, steal all their stuff. You could sneak out afterwards too if you want, but in general, I'm sure Chico wouldn't do that. She would leave no sleeping enemies alive. And so what happened right there, obviously, is Chico cleared the entire area out. And this particular camp had a chest that was locked and was tied to the enemies around it. So when you defeat them, nice. That's an upgrade.
But essentially, you can interact with everything in this environment. Like, there's steel boxes on the screen now. Just Chico can't really interact with them, but later on in the later segments, we'll talk about like how you can open it.
Oh, that terrain over there is so cool.
Yeah, it looks sort of like desert buttes. Not going there today. We are staying on the plateau.
Yeah, but there's this suspicious rocks or stone pillar, so of course I'm going to try to climb up on that thing. Oh. And there's another tree house.
Oh, wow.
These guys have really built it up. They got a nice place. Wow.
Yeah, no, that actually is really nice. They got the deluxe camp.
Yeah. It's a better one.
Yeah, look at that. They got like
they got. Let that one stand or not?
You can burn that entire camp down, Chico.
I don't know. Maybe.
Come in like an avenging fury.
Oh.
I need to take them out first.
Are you gonna make it out?
I will.
They have some.
You got enough stamina?
She's gonna get it. Yeah, she's got it.
I've actually found that's one of the things that's been really fun about all of us being able to play at work and experiences that we've had in the game.
Haha.
And really just comparing notes about how different the experience can be, where certain people are really focused on rampant destruction and waging a one-man war against the goblins. Other folks are focusing more on hunting or exploring, and depending on how you choose to focus your adventure, it's so different.
Yep.
And just talking to people, like I can talk to any other person had a completely different experience with the game.
Yeah, totally. So Chico, with just while we were talking about that, Chico basically scouted this camp with her Sheikah slate, and you can see that actually by identifying the individual enemies, you can see how strong they are. And yeah, it looks like there's a serious one back there.
Yeah.
I don't think you might be geared up to do that.
Not right now.
Give it a pass.
So yeah, I should.
Let's go. Let's go to the peak.
Yeah.
You can also see that she's got, once she marked that spot on her map, you can see it down on the mini-map. So even if it's not specifically in the little radius of your immediate map, you'll at least have a beacon to go.
Oh, actually, since those guys will probably be fun to fight, maybe.
Temperature gauge there that she went somewhere that was beyond sort of her current clothing, and you're going to lose health if you don't gear up or otherwise warm yourself. Clothing. Only one way that you can do it. purpose of this demo, just put on a nice little tunic.
Yep.
Well,
Teaser for me to focus on traveling.
why don't you take a dip in that lake? You ever did? Do that?
Huh?
Polar bear? Polar bear club. Come on.
Refreshing, I guess.
No polar bear club.
No. When you play, you can do it.
Those look like chews. What is that stuff?
Oh, you're right.
Choo-choo jelly. Sweet. Lot of stuff in this game. I don't even know what that stuff does. I've been playing this game forever. Have you ever made anything out of jelly? You gotta be able to make something out of it.
I don't know, cooking.
So we kind of touched on it, but maybe we could talk about how with this game, like the weather changes and it actually affects like the gameplay itself.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, I mean, among other things, it makes it so that nobody's going to have the same experience in this particular area. I mean, if you come into an area when it's at night and raining, it may be a different experience than when you come in there broad daylight. The enemies will be behaving differently. The terrain behaves differently. I mean, sudden downpours can put out campfires and stuff like that. So it really is dynamic.
Time would be worth. Marking them on the map so we can keep track of where they are.
First, she's got to get geared up. Chico is very cold right now.
It's always so sad to see Link like completely freezing the strategy of like where should I go next. So maybe I should come here later and just mark it and just go explore elsewhere.
I'm impressed that you're going around paths. See me, I'm like straight line. I climb over absolutely everything in my path unless I don't have the stamina to do it.
I don't think Chico's following a straight path though.
She was sticking a little bit to it. Ooh, sunset.
A climb.
Uh-oh, I have to get
really kind of
yeah. Gotta pause and appreciate the sunset. You're going all the way to the peak for the sunset. You're such a romantic, Chico.
But it's so pretty. You see everything.
Can I make it? Can I make it?
Yeah. You'll make it. Sunset's nice. Oh yeah.
Ah, let's do that a little bit too much.
Oh, that's all right. It's still nice.
That's cool. Some really interesting cloud cover moving over there.
Sit back, crack an elixir, you know. Enjoy it.
Oh, sunset.
That's nice.
Oh.
So are we at the peak? Oh yeah, we are.
Oh,
nice little men here there. Wait, no, it says search. You got to grab some. There's something there.
I will do it later.
Oh, all right. God, you need resources.
I just want to see what's around.
Oh man.
Yeah, this is the highest peak on the plateau. But of course, there's more higher stuff outside the plateau,
Yeah,
so you guys have to explore it later.
That's crazy to think about, actually.
Yeah.
This seems like it should be the highest point in the entire land, and it's definitely not.
Yeah, it's just everything's so vast, but the higher you get, the farther you can see, and it just makes planning so much easier.
It's nice seeing in the distance how we've got some illumination marking locations. So there's some certain sites that are really going to catch your eye as you look over the horizon.
I know, I'm so distracted by all this stuff. Now I want to mark all those shrines, go to those.
To-do list.
So I saw a waterfall over there, so I'm going to try to go first.
You're giving me vertigo.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is something that I don't think we even have on the demo on the floor, so folks who are here aren't going to get to play with this. It's only folks who are watching the stream that get to hopefully watch us not fly.
The water.
Stalfos is hid. Oh, nice shot.
Yeah, got his weapon too. Haha.
Oh, grab it. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, that's all right. You can use that for something.
Yeah.
Make a necklace?
I don't know.
I don't think we could do that. Can we do that? It's gross. Necklace of teeth.
Is it high enough? Am I high enough?
Yeah, totally.
I'm like just snowboarding.
That's
I
right.
be good here.
I know, that's right. That's
oh,
right.
wow. Actually, take a look at the moon over there. It's come out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
there's some keys over there. Yeah, I have to go up.
Wow, yeah,
to
you're
my
right.
bunny hill first. Or not.
It came with a buddy.
Oh, you were a dead shot, Chico.
Seriously.
See,
you
I
got
just
really
normally just
good.
wait in there with a sword, but you're actually smart to do that because if you fight stealth foes at night with a sword, you generally knock their heads off, but then the head survives and goes and tries to find its body and put it back together.
They can swap their heads too.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
And actually, if you take a look at them afterwards, sometimes their limbs will still be moving after you defeat them. It's like, oh.
Oh, that's right.
Creepy.
That is so cool. It's my favorite feature of them all.
Yeah, I can actually do snowboarding here.
Climb a high hill. Oh, nice.
Oh,
Ice skis.
Ice skis.
I was wondering if you could take that jump, actually. If we start high enough, we just...
I'm sorry, what?
I was probably
I'm sorry, I was
leading you to
murdering
do,
this bat.
but probably
It's
don't.
keys.
Jeez, it's not bad.
I know. It's
It's a
keys.
monster. Okay.
Oh, you're calling out my cred.
Okay, so this is.
So that little move that Chico just did, riding on her shield surfing, I think we're calling it.
Yep.
That does degrade your shield, so it's not like you could do that forever. Well, I mean, you can. You just have to go get more shields, but you can't ride on that thing forever and expect it not to take damage.
Yeah.
You
Just
might
like
need it.
weapons, yeah, they do break.
Yeah, exactly. With all your weapons and your gear,
You can tell it's the Wii U version based on the button prompts that have come up on the screen. So yes, it's the Wii U version. They already confirmed that.
You want to save your favorites for special
Get that.
occasions.
Yeah. The cool thing that I actually found out is that if you're shield surfing, you can do other things at the same time, like shoot an arrow. So
really?
that just invites more exploration and people to just keep trying stuff. So it's super cool.
Yeah, I got fire arrow now. That's a cool stuff.
So I know during the video we showed right at the beginning of the day, we showed Link swimming, but I can't remember here. So what is?
Look at this.
Hang on a second. Chico wants to blow a tree up.
Set more things on fire.
Oops, I was too hard.
I think you can leave the tree be. Come on. You are such a force of destruction.
I think we just found out
I'm just
that
trying
it
out
might
my
be an
new
evil tree.
stuff. Might be. So
I think Chico's a pyro.
Yeah, Chico likes
I
fire.
just got
She likes it in the
fire
office too.
arrow, and I just wanted to try it out. Leave me alone. Okay, so there's a waterfall. So usually when there's a waterfall, you know
Zelda
something
1.
is gonna be there.
The first Zelda has taught us this.
Oh yeah,
Check
that water looks
waterfalls.
super cold.
Yep. I'm just gonna try not to go too far.
Oh,
Nice
save.
save.
Okay.
Yeah,
so-
hopefully people when they're here, hopefully don't go jumping off cliffs thinking they can activate the
This
paraglider.
is just for the Treehouse Live.
Yeah.
Look at this.
There we go.
Haha.
nice.
Nice
Three
detour.
test. Haha. And then it's 14. So there's
This is actually a really good trove. So, I mean, we were talking about that earlier. There's little stuff everywhere. So, I mean, you might look behind it in a little nook and cranny that looks suspicious, and sometimes you might find an awesome trove like this that has tons of treasure chests, but sometimes you might find some apples or some acorns or something like that. But all of those things have value. Like, there's never a time when you're sort of looking around and see something suspicious and you're like, oh, why did I come into this corner? There's just stuff everywhere, and it's all useful. I don't think
Devil
we're
May
talking about all
Cry?
that
What
in
were
this
you
segment,
expecting?
but we're probably going to some of the
Slow.
details of how you use ingredients and stuff later on.
It's funny, honestly, sometimes in the middle of a hard battle, an apple is the most valuable treasure
I know,
you've got. And you're
I
just like,
know.
1 second, I have to eat this. Give me a second.
More fire arrows. That's the last thing we need to give Chico.
Oh God, you're right.
You may be
So
geared up to.
Speaking of, fire arrow, maybe I can go back to the treehouse and burn it.
Oh no.
I don't know. What do you think?
Wait, are you talking about the real treehouse?
Yeah, not our actual
not
treehouse.
treehouse.
Okay.
We got time.
The goblins might be in for a bad day.
I'm wasting it.
Yeah, those are the.
I'm not wasting
those are
it
little
anymore.
guys.
That did look really cool, though.
That's probably the right weapon to use if you really want to damage an enemy that's made out of ice. I would imagine fire arrows are probably the thing to do.
But if you use them all here, we can't go burn stuff later.
That's right. That's how Chico has to manage her resources. Do you really want to burn this thing?
It's probably due to just them being in Los Angeles with so many different internet connections.
that's,
that it's probably not.
Hey, wait,
the
double check your
software
map.
that they use.
Actually, no. I was trying to remember where you stuck that skull. Oh yeah, it's on that same
I'm
bank.
going for it.
So yeah, we did. I think you were starting to say this earlier, Sam, but you can. We saw Link jumping in the water earlier. That was much more temperate water.
Yeah.
This is a frozen mountain lake. You're gonna die.
No. I am not dying.
Get that
I am
apple.
not.
For the steak.
Ha.
You took the cheese.
Oh God. That was.
It's only death and destruction
Why
when
don't
it
you-
comes to Chico.
Oh, wow, you got a Korok leaf out of it. That's good. That shows.
I will say I love playing with Chico. I actually watched her shoot a butterfly with an arrow once.
Really?
Yeah,
that really
I didn't
shouldn't
know
be.
you could do that, but
Me
she
neither.
can pull that off.
And there,
Shouldn't be allowed to
so
do
I
that.
had to try it.
That's impressive.
He told me he can do it, so I had to try and make sure I can do it too.
Your little explosive demonstration back there, though, we should call out that, obviously that tree fell down because it was in a destruction zone. You see trees, I mean, you can damage them. I think when people saw the trailer and there was that sort of sequence of Link knocking a tree to cross a chasm, it's not like that's the only tree that you can chop down. It's like you basically can chop down anything you see. See, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he's back. He's got his head.
Get his arm.
I will.
Actually, let's see if we can take a closer look at one of the arms once they're.
Oh.
Yeah, there's one in front of me there.
Oh, he's putting. Chico, what I want you to do is take his arm and then beat him with it.
It's right. Oh, there, grab that one.
Oh wait, he took it.
No.
Oh, grab it. Okay.
Yes.
Nice.
This is so
No, I
gross.
can't. So I have to.
You have
I
too many
already have
things.
enough
Maybe Digiclone.
weapons. So yeah.
The arm is way more
Pick
fun.
up the same
wait.
Oh, no, he's got it back, I think. He's putting it back on.
Sorry.
You are getting outwitted by things that they have no brains.
Fine. Are you saying I'm?
There it is.
Don't have.
Well, they have a rudimentary intelligence.
Wait.
Nice.
There you go.
got it.
Did I take it?
Yeah, you
yeah,
did.
you got it.
So we got to equip that for a second, I think, just to show it off because it's so creepy.
It's really creepy.
Yeah,
Look
get
at
him
that.
with it. Teach him a lesson.
Yeah.
There you go.
God. You see his own arm.
That guy too. That's right.
It really is fun experimenting with things
Look
that
at that,
maybe
it's
don't
still
think
moving
of as
on the
weapons,
ground,
but
too.
they
Yep.
do the job.
Yeah, I mean, we already showed it obviously in
hands.
Mr. Anima's segment, but going out of that cave and instead of being handed a sword by an old man, getting a crappy tree branch that's sitting right there on the ground.
Snake.
Oh.
Look.
That arm is in its sheath too,
They're
because
trying
it's
to
still
get
like
together.
clawing
I know.
at the back of Link, and it's like grabbing
That
at
was
him.
good. It's intimidating. If I saw that dude, I wouldn't fight him. Got like a moving severed arm on his back.
So we've got a little bit of time left. Should we see if we can check out that tree fort before we wrap up?
Yeah.
Chico's gonna mount an assault. I'm psyched to see this. And then she's gonna ride the waterfall.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Nah.
We actually tried that once.
Enter
It's
Yeah.
dramatic.
There's no way they have the range over here. You can just bomb them.
I like the word epic. I thought it was an epic ending.
Okay, wait. I have to go. Oh, it's almost breaking. Isn't it?
That's right. You got a spare bow. That bow is better, anyways. They got better tech than you. Oh, they have no idea. Nice shot.
Oh. Whoa. Good aim.
Oh no.
A little low. Compensate for the wind shear.
Ha.
Oh. Oh, he shot back.
Huh? He's mad at me. Okay. Yes.
All right. Well, that's I think about all the time that we've got here today. But we'll leave the fate of those bokoblins up to folks' imaginations. We'll let them be for now. But thanks, guys, for swinging by and doing some exploring with us. Folks who are watching, please stay tuned. We're going to be right back with some more Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild. I'm not trying to make. I can even say what we're going to do next, but please stay tuned. We'll be right back. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Over the last couple segments, folks have seen some really interesting locations from Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild, kind of off in the distance. But in this segment, Audrey, you're actually going to take us into a couple of the shrines that
we're going to get up close and personal with some shrines. You're right. So first, I'm starting up here on Resurrection Tower, and it's really tall. I don't know if you can tell, but it's really tall. But that's great because it gives me a good vantage point for the entire Great Plateau, which is pretty, but that's not what we're here to look at. We're here to get some shrines. So while I'm up here, I'm gonna actually pull out my Sheikah Slate and my scope and try and place some pins so I know exactly where I'm going to go. This is going to be super handy because this is just the starting area, but it's huge. And I tend to wander. I'm a known wanderer, so I need these pins to kind of help get me back on track whenever I go after some bokoblins that I probably shouldn't have.
I wonder if we could pop into the map for a second and just show folks exactly what the distance is between these two shrines.
Yeah, so those two
What's the
shrines.
space?
I'm up here, so I'm
Hey
in the-
guys, it's pretty much over on the stream there. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna stop it
Look
right
pretty
here.
close together,
I'm
but
gonna try to
they're
see if I
actually
can
pretty
fix a
far
couple
apart,
things,
so
and I'll be back with
those
more
pins are gonna
streaming
come in handy.
later for some
Here's my
different games and
first
stuff like that,
shrine,
guys.
and
But anyway,
I'm
I'm
not
gonna go.
supposed to have
Thanks for
this
coming out
yet,
to the stream,
but
guys.
I do. So I'm gonna jump using my handy paraglider. I'm gonna soar to the ground and head off to my first shrine.